Shaheed traded to the Seahawks. Sauce Gardner traded to the Colts. Both teams are making moves. Both teams are trying to improve their playoff outcomes and seeding and situations. And boy, did they make some moves. And are the Jets done? This is a clear sign the Jets are packing it in. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson still potentially could be on the move as the trade deadline looms today. And what does this mean for the Saints players? Are we buying Jawan Johnson? Or I don't even care about that, to be honest. I do know Darnold's stock goes up by getting yet another wide receiver weapon. Not worried about JSN. Torrey Horton, we'll see how that plays out. Shaheed's certainly going to eat into that workload. The Seattle running back room, we'll talk about that as well. But Sauce Gardner going to the Colts certainly can put Danny Dimes in better field position. This is definitely a good move for the Colts as an organization. But they did drop their full load drop on this one. they absolutely dropped what we call
initiate full load drop.
The full load drop on this trade. 2 first-rounders to the Jets in exchange for Sauce Gardner. Shaheed, we'll talk about that impact and more. The Fantasy Football Show Breaking News Edition, because we go live when news breaks, baby. That show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. We just got done on the other live stream, and now we're back again. Shaheed is a Seahawk. Sauce Gardner is a Colt. Darnold goes up in value for sure.
Stock on the rise.
JSN might even go up in value because I don't think Shaheed's taking away from JSN's volume. That's not a concern, but
Stock on the
double
rise.
teams, a lot better for JSN in a way. Darnold certainly goes up in value. Darnold is
Stock
playing
on the
good
rise.
ball right now. This is awesome news. Danny Dimes on the other side of the spectrum, playing great all year and then having a bad week 9. This is certainly good news for field position and getting Dimes back on track. Indiana Jones. Colts are definitely making moves here. But two first rounders, rebuild time for the Jet organization that's certainly looking, I imagine, to move Breece Hall today. This feels like a Breece Hall move. I think Garrett Wilson could be thought to be the staple and focal point of the team to build around, but they could trade both of them. They could trade neither one. It takes a dancing partner in order to dance. I mean, you could go out there and dance by yourself. That's what the Jets have been doing for a while now. But you do need a dancing partner to pull off a trade, and there's certainly a possibility that we do see one of or both Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall on the move next, because this is a surrender move. The Jets are saying, Uncle Sauce Gardner is what they're saying. Sauce Gardner gets to go be happy and play for a team that can win games. Imagine how excited this man Sauce Gardner is to leave this putrid organization that does not know football. Reminds me of the Cardinals. They remind me of my Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals don't know ball either. And the Jets are just cursed. You get rid of Sauce Gardner, what you're wagging the white towel. So, yeah, what's this? Let's see if we got any more. There's so much news going on right now. Full trade, Sauce Gardner, Jets receive a 26 and 27 first-round pick and wide receiver A.D. Mitchell. So it looks like A.D. Mitchell was included in the deal. And so A.D. Mitchell becomes a Jet, but what good's that? What good's that going to do? A.D. Mitchell is just a small part of this trade. Wow. What a day. What a day already. It started off kind of like, okay, we got Jacoby Myers, mid Jacoby Myers, little Jacoby, they call him. Little Jacoby Myers, his value, I don't even think it goes up. I don't think it goes up. I don't think it probably goes down a little bit. Jacoby Myers, honestly, probably goes down. I don't think T-Law's feet, I just don't see it as a good situation. What it is it sends Brock Bowers to the mother freaking moon. Brock Bowers is going to the mother freaking moon. Brock Bowers is a potential double-digit scoring option almost every single week. Let's put Brock Bowers on the screen. Brock Bowers. While you're yelling, it's hard to say his name. Brock Bowers going to the moon. Let's put him on this screen. Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers going to the moon. TM42 says, come on, Smitty. Come on, Smitty. I have him. How many shares do you have of Jacoby Myers? TM42? Smitty, come on. Myers goes up a little bit. Come on. No, he doesn't. He doesn't go up a little bit. He's in a crowd. He's in a much more crowded room, TM42. He goes down. He doesn't go up. He goes down. Yeah, I was going to say stays even, but now I'm going to say down because you're pushing me. But on top of that, I truly believe it goes down. Now, how does Jacoby Myers go up? Shaheed got traded. Keep up, Aiden. Keep up. We literally got it in the title. It's in the title. It's down below. What are we doing, Aiden? Pay attention. Genty goes up in value. Brock Bowers goes up in value. Genty's going to get more targets and more work. Brock Bowers is going to get more targets and more work. Sauce Gardner is going to help DJ Danny Dimes.
Stock on the rise.
And of course, Shaheed, while I don't love Shaheed, I don't dislike him. I don't think he necessarily goes up or down. I think maybe he could go up a little bit, maybe stays right where he is. But the value of Sam Darnold and the Seahawks goes up. Now, hopefully the Seahawks move Walker Charbonnet, but probably not likely given they're enabled by continuing to do what they do. JSN's going to probably be even more explosive.
Stock on the rise.
More explosive. Why? Less double teams. It's just going to be, a glorious situation. Let me put these up. We'll do this. Let me just adjust this real quickly, and let's put these up. Stock on the rise by the players involved in all these trades, even if they're indirectly a degree of separation involved. So we got Brock Bowers on the increase. We've got Genty on the increase. Dial it up. We got Darnold on the rise. Let's put Darnold on here. Darnold's mug needs to be on here. Do I even have a Darnold graphic prepared? I know I got him somewhere. I don't know where my Darnold graphic is. Here it is. Darnold on the rise. He's got that nice bright green color. It's my boy Darnold. Look, Darnold, I admit I owe Darnold an apology. I didn't think Darnold was going to hold it all together again. I mean, this is the second time I've doubted Darnold. Darnold looks fantastic right now. I'm not saying he doesn't turn into a pumpkin. It's certainly possible. So Bowers on the rise, Genty on the rise, Darnold on the rise. Who else was I putting on the rise? I was putting somebody else on the rise. I mean, everybody on Indy goes up because of field position. So even like Tyler Warren, you could say, oh, how's Tyler Warren? A degree of separation away. He's on the rise. I mean, this is field position time, baby. This is how it goes. This is how it rolls. And Brock Bowers is going to score 2-3 touchdowns a game. Who else was I saying was on the rise? Darnold. JSN on the rise. JSN might be the number one wide receiver in the league right now. He just really might be the number one wide receiver in the National Football League. It's actually kind of wild and fantastic all at the same time. All right, Brock Bowers. We've got Tyler Warren. There we go. All right, this is everything. Bowers, Genty, Darnold, and Jigba, Warren.
Stock on the rise.
Danny Dimes as well. Dimes on the rise. What a day. What a day. All right, let's hit this. I got a super chat or two sitting here. We got L3. Appreciate you. Says 3 and 6, 50% playoff chance. Allen, Bijan, Rico, Rice, Worthy, Diggs, Bowers, Gadsden. Followed your advice and got Hall and a Doomsday for Diggs, K9, and Gadsden. Thoughts? I think that could work out for you. Let's hope Hall gets traded to a good location. I think that's a pretty solid solid move. I like Gadsden a lot, but I think that could work out. And Odunze, I think Odunze is going to have a good rest of the season. He might be a little sporadic at times. Take Love and Saquon for Lamar in Superflex. Pros and cons to this, it depends on who your quarterback would be. If you had, like, if Love, who your other quarterback is, but Love in general is still okay in Superflex. And Saquon's fantastic, but I think I'd rather have Lamar in Superflex. It's a pretty big leap. What about A.D. Mitchell? I don't think this is good for A.D. Mitchell. I don't think it's horrible, but I don't think it's good. It doesn't increase his value at all. A.D. Mitchell was in a good spot. He didn't take fully advantage of it. You know, you could have had... It's not that crowded over there in Indy, bro. You got Garrett Wilson. You got Mason Taylor. You got one of the better pass-catching backs in Breece Hall who could get traded. Maybe Garrett Wilson gets traded. Garrett Wilson gets traded, then I think we start talking A.D. Mitchell. Now, the fact that they got A.D. Mitchell back does make me wonder if a Garrett Wilson trade is in the works. You know what I'm saying? Because this A.D. Mitchell addition makes me feel like, whoa, what are they doing behind closed doors? Are they getting rid of Garrett? They getting rid of little Garrett Wilson? Maybe G. Willie's on the move because of that acquisition. We'll see. But that's where we stand right now. Genty, Bowers, Darnold, JSN, Warren, Dimes on the rise. Hopefully Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson will also be on the rise because hopefully one or both of them will be out of Dodge and on to new and greener pastures, because I'll tell you what, the Jets are folding. Everything gets worse because of this move. Sauce Gardner getting traded to the Colts makes everyone in New York worse. It makes Fields set up to fail again. Poor Fields. We can blame Fields all we want, say Fields is trash. But at the end of the day, Fields keeps getting handed a raw deal. He keeps getting a very bad set of cards. He's showing up and the deck of cards is at the tail end of the deal, and there's just nothing left for him. He's getting screwed. Fields has had nothing but bad defenses and bad situations, and one or the other. And now he walks into an impossible situation now. No field position. Jets are just getting worse and unfolding. Poor Fields, man. Poor Fields. Trade Fields to the Raiders. Trade Fields somewhere else. Get him out of there. Trade Fields to the Cardinals. And trade Kyler over to the motherfreaking Jets, man. I'd take a chance on Fields over Kyler Murray. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not saying it's a lock or anything. I'm just saying I'd take the chance. But this entire situation, Gabriel, why you keep pasting the same thing? I just answered the A.D. Mitchell question. You keep pasting it over and over. I just answered it. I think Garrett Wilson, or I think one of Garrett Wilson or Breece Hall get traded. They have to. You trade Sauce Gardner. Why are you going to keep Breece Hall? You really going to rebuild around Breece Hall? Do you have enough time to build around Breece Hall as a running back? His shelf life is short. He's had a pretty hefty workload, considering how young he is, and how and why would you keep him? Now, Garrett Wilson, I could see them building around G. Willie. I would want to if I was starting over. I'm not getting rid of everybody, but Breece Hall doesn't make sense to keep. You lock Breece Hall down to a long-term deal. How does that make sense with your plan of attack? You're years away. You're not 1 year. You're probably 2 years away. Breece Hall 3 years from now, not saying he can't do well 3 years from now, but you're then knocking on the door. So is it a smart move? Probably not. So we'll see. They certainly here's the thing too, though, is they certainly could wait to trade Breece. I mean, that doesn't have to happen right now. I mean, they certainly could trade him in the offseason. They tag him, trade him, but it's easier to trade him now. It's much easier to trade him now. They're rebuilding. They've already started. Once you pull the plug, you might as well just keep emptying the situation down to the bare bones. Just start ripping out all the interior of this thing. Leave Garrett Wilson, maybe. I'd prefer Garrett Wilson to go to mother freaking New England. If I had it my way, I would say G. Willie to the Pats, man. And Hall to the KC Chiefs. This is what I want. This is my wish list right now for the remainder of the day. You already started to rip the seats out of the plane. You can't even fly it anymore. Sauce Gardner is gone. Sauce Gardner's gone. Let's figure this out. Let's send Breece Hall to KC. Let's send Garrett Wilson to New England. And let's do it live. We've got hours left to do this. All right. You can always tell when someone owns like 15 shares of a player. I'm sorry, Eric. I'm not trying to call you out. And I hope you're right. And you could be right. But you can always tell when someone has 15 shares of a player. You write a novel. You're like, Shaheed passes the eye test. Let me explain why my 15 shares are going to be valuable. I have to have a positive outlook here. I do think it could be good for him. I think it's more good for Darnold than it is Shaheed. You got to understand, Shaheed is in a position to be kind of the number one where he is, but lesser targets and worse passes thrown his way, sure. But you also do have Horton, who's cementing himself in as a nice piece of this team in the future. So I don't know. Shaheed's a nice play. It's certainly a nice play. I think he could be good. But it definitely signs you have 15 shares of him for sure. Because there's some ambiguity there. You know, I like it. I'm excited, but that's definitely an optimistic Oscar take. And I like it. I don't dislike it. Breece to the Texans. I mean, anything's possible, bro. Anything's possible. Certainly possible. Indiana Jones or Darnold? I mean, what do you think, bro? Indiana Jones just, looks like he lost his hat and his whip in one day. And yeah, things could get better for him. This move is certainly a nice move, and he's been good all year, but Darnold's dropping wads, bro. Darnold's the answer right now. I mean, Stroud, Penix, Mariota, JJM. I'd probably say JJM and Penix matchup, play each week at the current moment. Wilson to the Bucks would feed families. That wouldn't be a bad move, but it's definitely something that could happen. But I don't know that I want it for Book. I don't think I'd hate it either, though. I think that everybody could eat, but it certainly would help keep double teams off him. K9 to the Chiefs. I mean, I would welcome that as well. Bears are trading for pass rusher. Okay. Just making sure now we're not seeing Bears are trying to get in the mix here. Man, I just have a feeling. I have a feeling one of these two things could happen right here. Garrett Wilson to Pats, Hall to KC. I feel like this is what we need. This is what we need. This will feed families. This right here, just as the Brock Bowers situation now feeds families. I mean, not that Myers was taking all that much, but Myers leaving LV is pretty solid. Let me see if there's any other news cooking up. I'll open up the phone lines really briefly after I answer the super chat here. So hang tight. This is from a couple of super chats here. So hang tight. Don't call in yet. BA, appreciate you with the super Flex, Shaheed, Olave, Andrews, or Kincaid. Probably going to go with Kincaid right now. He's doing great. B2 Number 2 guy because of this channel. I also beat the number 2 guy in my league because of this channel. You're the man. Thank you, BA. Appreciate you. BA to the motherfucking moon. BBQ to the moon as well. Shaheed trade helps JSN even more with the legit burner taking the top off the defense. Smart move by the Hawks for the stretch run. Seahawks are just a well-oiled machine right now. They're just they're a dangerous team. They're like one of those NBA teams, or you could say baseball too, but they don't have the superstars like a LA, super team. But that's just a cohesive unit. Everything's flowing, the coaching, everything. I mean, Seattle's dangerous. Seattle's very dangerous right now. Very underrated. I love Lind. A full load drop. I love Lind. A full load drop at this point of the season. I love Lind. A full load drop at this point in the season, Nick. If you're trying to say, should you drop a full load drop on Loveland? I'm sure. Yeah, who knows what's going to be left for you, bro. 20 gifted memberships by BBQ. Guys, thank BBQ if you got a gifted membership from BBQ. He just dropped 20 gifted memberships right now.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Is Loveland worth the full load drop? Yes. I mean, even if it's just for trade value, like let's say you had a tight end already, probably drop it and then you can trade Loveland. Loveland's going to have probably some of the most crafty trade value off the wire that you could possibly, encounter right now in the offseason. K9 to the Chiefs would be solid. I don't know that the Seahawks are in the business of giving up good players right now. I think they're very, very enabled to continue on and just build. I don't think they're going to say, let's take one of our running backs and send them packing. I think they like what they got. Yeah, Nick, I got you. What running back, what's TM saying? TM42 says, what running back should I target using Devontae Adams? Dowdle, Judkins, Genty, Kyron, Jacobs, Bucky. Those guys come to mind. Henry, Barkley. All those guys. And depending on who you get, you might need to add more or ask for more, potentially. Okay, last time. Okay, let me read this. Okay, Smitty, last time. Trade Hampton for Garrett Wilson. I'm such a worried William. I'm a worried Brent. I'm going to ask you 7 times. Why would this change? Garrett Wilson, Brent. I mean, even if he doesn't, I understand the dilemma here. But if the team sucks, they're still going to throw the ball. But I'm still taking Garrett Wilson. Hampton might not even help you. I don't even know. Chat, does anybody think... No, it's okay, Brent. You don't have to apologize. You're super chatting. You can ask us. You can super chat me the same question every day, Brent, if you want. I'm not going to get mad at you. Brent, I'm not going to get mad at you for sending me a $5, $2, whatever dollar holler you sent me to ask me the same repeated question. I don't care. You might have anterograde amnesia for all I know. You send it on over every time, pal. You can ask me every day. Let's do that. Let's schedule it. Every day you send me a super chat. Should you trade Garrett Wilson? And I will answer it. I might get upset sometimes, but just ignore that. But you can't trade G Willie or not acquire G Willie or whatever the case may be. And they'll be thrown from behind and anything can happen. Hampton, I don't know that Hampton's going to help you. Would anybody rather have Hampton than G Willie? I'm just asking for a friend. I don't think anybody here would, but can I promise you that things don't go awry though? No, I can't. Could Garrett Wilson get hurt because he's getting served up hospital balls over and over? Yeah, but guess what? Hampton's already hurt. So, I mean, they'd be in the same boat. They'd be equal at that point. All right, you got your answer from the chat as well. JD5 owner, trade Lamb for Adunze and Knicks? No. It's not close. Trade CMC. All right, let me read that one more time. Lamb. Yeah, no. I like Knicks, but no. Trade CMC for Gibbs and Herbert. If you need a QB, I like Gibbs more than CMC going forward. I don't care what's happened. I care about what is in front of me and the injury risk and all that. Dynasty, does 80 Mitchell going to the Jets mean anything? We don't know. It could mean that they're maybe trading Garrett Wilson. That is kind of my thinking. I think there's got to be something to that. I feel like there's something to that anyway. Hampton hurt and missing 2 starting tackles. Not to mention when he comes back. Yes, BBQ. And when he comes back, who knows if he'll even get, immediate run. He might need to ramp up tremendously. So it's kind of like a huge risky proposition. Or would you prefer CMC and BTJ for Gibbs and Herbert? And Sutton. I'd probably rather have that. Give BTJ up and get Sutton as well in that deal. Sorry for multiple supers. Yeah, JW should be ashamed of yourself. Apologize right now for sending me another super chat. JW, don't ever apologize for sending your boy a super. You hear me? Smitty approved.
You've just been...
Now, some are going to tell you don't trade CMC for Gibbs, and that's fine. I mean, that's preference. I don't think anybody's like crazy wrong for wanting to keep CMC, but I would certainly trade him for Gibbs, and you're getting Sutton out of that. 0.5, 2 flex, Ibuka, Vidal, Harvey for Jacobs, Aaron Jones. I only have Gentry and Vidal, or Higgins. So Aaron Jones or Higgins is like asking me, do I want a $100 bill or a 50-cent piece? It's not worth more than the face value. Higgins by 1,000 miles. Or, see, this is, you guys write these questions so confusing. If I keep reading, Higgins plus Vidal for Jacobs and Jones. Okay. Give me the Ibuka, Vidal, Harvey for Jacobs and Jones. I don't want to trade Buka. Higgins and Vidal for Jacobs and Jones. Pretty even, to be honest, the way Higgins is playing right now. I guess if I need a running back, I take the Jacobs side. If I need a wide receiver, I keep the Higgins side. But very, very close. I don't trade a Buka. $20 hauler from Alex. Alex, appreciate your 20 wad.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Alex says, hey, bro, this is my team for week 10. May, James Cook, Judkins, JSN, Ibuka, McBride, Rome. Bench is JCM, Hendy, Jennings, Woody. I'm 6-3, 10-man PPR, and he moves. Still in shock that I won with Rome, and the other guy had Taylor. Yeah, Taylor had just a bad game. He's good buy low if anybody's going to be fickle. Look, your team's good. Your team's really good. I don't think... Do I want to make a trade? First of all, I still like Rome a lot. And I still love holding Hendy. I don't think I move a thing, bro. You're 6-3. Don't try and fix what isn't broken. Your team looks fantastic. I don't even think there's a player I want to trade unless I can move a James Cook and I don't know. You can't. The thing is, you don't have anything on the bench to couple him with. I'm not moving anything unless I can move McBride down to Tyler Warren to upgrade, let's say, James Cook or Rome. If I could upgrade Rome by going from McBride down to Tyler Warren, just a very specific trade like that, I would do that. We made ideas like this with Bowers before Bowers exploded. Flea Nice, $20 hauler. My boy Flea coming in strong with a 20 wad.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Flea, appreciate you, my boy. Flea says, Mighty Flacco on a bye. Need a QB. Okay. So, Mariota, Darnold. Come on. Darnold. Penix, JJ. Brissett. First of all, JJ's not JJ's. JJM. Let's not disrespect Justin Jefferson like that. The answer is clearly Darnold. Then probably JJ McCarthy or Brissett. That's a tough one. I'd probably say the clear answer is Darnold. Also need 2 running backs and 1 flex. Probably going to go Harvey and personally Hendy. Do what you want, but that's what I'm doing. And then the flex is probably going to be Damn, this is tough. I mean, I like Sharps, but I don't think I trust that situation right now. I do trust Fannin. I know they're all equal. Yeah, they are very equal. So I would say Fannin, and then Harvey and Hendy. But very risky. But Fleet Ice is rolling with that real light running back room team, if you remember, and he's crushing it. Trade JD5. Thank you for the $20 hauler, bro. Trade JD5 and Lamb for Josh Allen and Bucky. Woo! Yes, I probably do that. I trust in Bucky enough to make that trade. But damn. PPR Kyron. Zach says 2 first-rounders for Sauce. Colts got sauced. I don't necessarily agree with. I think it's a full load drop for sure. But Sauce Gardner is pretty damn good, bro. It's going to be very helpful for everything. But it is a lot. I think both sides did pretty well on that one, I guess. Especially with the Jets not being able to do well with Sauce Gardner. So it's like, if I'm running that organization, I'm probably going to trade Garrett Wilson for 2 first round. At this rate, have 7 first round picks. Kyron, Brees, Kyle, Manungai, Vidal. Be proactive if Brees gets traded and drop Vidal for Isaiah Davis. It's not the worst move, but I do think Vidal's got a little more value. I'd drop my kicker or defense and do that, though. I do like where you're going, but I wouldn't drop Vidal. Either I get 2 backfields or solidify a handcuff. I'm okay with this, but I'm doing it for my kicker or D. I don't think I'm 6-3, 12 PPR. Mahomes, Genty, Brees, London, Igbuka, Bowers, Gadsden, McConkey, benches Chase Brown, Jennings, Hendy, Tootin. Any moves? Would it be weird to start 2 tight ends? No, but Chase Brown, whenever playing, is a must play. Over a tight end spot, but keep in mind the Bengals are having a bye, which is probably why you're asking that. But in general, so Bengals having a bye this week, definitely gonna have to sit them. And then if you're asking, should you start, let's say, what was it? So you're starting Bowers and Gadsden. Those are 2 very good. I mean, they're practically wide receivers. Yeah, this is you got everything going. Everything's right here. Everything's right. Any moves? Brees Hall and maybe Gadsden or Brees Hall. Yeah, Brees Hall and Gadsden maybe for 1 better player. I think I'd look into that, Marquez. That's probably the only thing that comes to mind. It's a really good team, but you don't need both the tight ends necessarily. And if you could upgrade Brees Hall, especially off the spec that he could get traded, if he doesn't get traded, I think maybe it deflates his balloon a little bit. And people are going to start going, this team's going to be so playing from behind with no sauce, with the whole team collapsing. And then now all of a sudden you're going to have Brees Hall game scripted out. I'd probably sell him. Even if he gets traded to the Chiefs, make a trade you love no matter what. That's the whole point of trading. You make a trade you love, even if both sides end up winning, that's like your worst case scenario. Sauce Gardner. I'm just reading to see if there's any other news. Now that the Jets have 2 more chances to miss on a first-round QB pick, says BBQ. It's a very, very accurate statement. Jets. They're so bad. They're so bad. Dylan, appreciate your super chat. Traded Genty and Nico for Achane. I probably wouldn't have given up that much. That's a lot of value. Lost Jaden Daniels. Now have Dimes, Achane, Henry, Rice, Buka, Rome. It's a good team. You still could easily win this. You told me to consolidate, maybe overpaid. I told you to consolidate, Dylan, but don't blame me because you traded. And I'm not saying you're blaming me, but I didn't tell you to consolidate like this. Genty and Nico for Achane. That's a lot. Like, this would be good for Gibbs or Bijan or JT. But I think because Achane and Genty could potentially have similar value, it's possible. I'd rather have Achane. Because Nico and Genty could potentially have similar value, of course, I'd rather have Achane. I think it's a lot to give up. But, Dylan, I look at your team, and I still think you've got to be a top 3 or 4 team. You still could be a top 3 or 4 team without even looking at the other rosters, but that was giving up too much. Thank you for the super chat, my boy. You can't say who won yet. Talk about premature. I assume you're talking to somebody else in the chat, but I mean, they can say whatever they want. You can say who won. You might be wrong. You can predict it. I mean, I don't think it was too much. I don't know what side you're arguing, but I think that, look, Sauce Gardner's a baller. The Colts needed this. I don't know. These picks, we'll see where they're at. Should be good value on both sides. I think the Jets did good on this trade. I think the Colts did good on this trade. Jacoby Myers trade, I don't care about. Shaheed trade, it's good for Seattle and Darnold. It's not necessarily good for Shaheed, and it's not something that devastates the Saints at all. So I don't think the Saints did bad in their trade, but I don't think they did great either. And I think the Seahawks probably just improved Darnold's, ability to continue on the course he's on. It's a smart move by Seattle. Seattle's preparing. They're battening down the hatches. They're trying to, figure out how to safeguard Darnold's value so he doesn't collapse like he did at the end of the year last year in Minnesota. Skyward, appreciate you. My sorry team keeps scraping by. Goddard. It sounds like he was trying to say Goddard. Got Dart. Chase Brown, Hendy, Jacoby, Pitts, Monangai, benches. Wow, bro. Lost Evans and Scat. I'm 4-5. Somehow averaging 98 points a week, 0.5 PPR. How do we make this the playoffs? I'll be honest, bro. Have you ever heard of Underdog promo code Smitty? I usually send people here when there's no way to recover. $5, play 5, get 100. Just using code Smitty or this link right here. I'll drop it in the live chat. This is the best way to potentially recover. Smitty must have not read the full convo. I just said I didn't, bro. You must have not listened to my full statement. I said, I don't know who you're talking to. You're probably talking to somebody else. And I literally just said that. I don't think you're listening to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I think any one of you could be right. You could say whatever you want. You could say, I think that they won the trade. I think they didn't win the trade. Everybody's saying you can't decide who's won the trade yet. You can decide whatever you want. You just might be on the wrong side of history. I think, I don't think there's much to trade here, bro. I'll be honest. I think you just keep trying to scrape by because you got no trade value really in Hendy or Dart's got some trade value, but who's going to come get him? Monangai, if you trade Monangai, you better get something to plug right back in. I don't know. I don't think there's much here. This is crazy, bro. 98 points a game with this squad is wild. And you just got to hope Chase Brown does it. Dart keeps doing it. Hendy does it live. Monangai keeps ripping him off. Monangai for maybe like if you could get like let's say you could trade Monangai for like ETN and Tootin. Might not be a bad move for you. Although Monangai might just keep doing it. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Monangai you'd have to get lucky and somebody doesn't want to wait on Bucky and they give you Bucky for Monangai. They give you a Dunze and ETN for Monangai. Like you're gonna have to rip someone off. Your only sell high is Monangai. I don't even think Chase Brown's sell high. Monangai is it. Skyward, your team is doing it live. I'm proud of you though. I like I like what I'm hearing. I just don't know. Playoff team. Try seeing what somebody. You just got to hope Hendy blows up. Try to see what somebody would give you from an guy. Just test the waters. You need 2 players though. If anybody says I'm not giving you, you say I can't trade him. Then he's my only piece. Like you either give me a Dunze, go to the Dunze owner. You either give me a Dunze for free, and then give me a player for Monangai, or I can't give you Monangai. Go to the Swift owner, see what he has. Potentially look to acquire like let me see if I can find a player. Pickens and a player or a Dunze and a player. If you could get Pickens and a player and a Dunze and a player, and I'm not talking about a scrub, but talking about a player better than a Dunze or better than Pickens that might be slumping. Jacobs would be a player I could consider. I've seen people get Jacobs so cheap, it's insane, bro. I don't understand why people are giving up on Jacobs. He hasn't exactly blown up, but now he's sharing carries a little bit. People are freaking out. You could go get him. JMO could be a completely free throw-in, so you trade Monungai to the JMO owner and then ask for JMO after. So go after 1 for 1, not JMO, 1 for 1, and then ask for JMO at the end. Go, I can't do it. If you throw in JMO, who's doing nothing for you, I'll do it and get him to do that trade. That's my advice. I wish I had better advice for you, but there's no one else to trade. Paul got offered Metcalf for MHJ. I'd rather have probably Metcalf because the Cardinals are going to screw it up. As we reported last night, Gannon already said he's not changing quarterbacks. 14-team Darnold plus Franklin for Adunze. Got Dak. I'm okay with the Adunze move here, but I do like Darnold. Do you see the Jags trading for Myers as an indictment on low TJ and his possible trade or confirmation that Hunter won't play this year? I think Hunter's going to play this year. Anything's possible, BBQ. They could be hiding the news from us, but the news seems to indicate that Hunter will be back in about 5 total games of missed play. 4 to 5. Well, he's going to miss 4, but could be back on the 5th or 6th game. I think that it could be an indictment on the fact that they don't feel like this is a team that's still trying to win and they need something now. They're not getting what they want out of their receiving stable, but it's kind of ridiculous to think you could still win. Not only playoff games, but go further. But it does, to me, feel like there's a chance they could trade BTJ and they're posturing. We're not trading BTJ, but they're acquiring a wide receiver to plan for it. Just like I think acquiring A.D. Mitchell for the Jets might be that they're still intrigued about the idea of trading Garrett Wilson away. Garrett Wilson to the Pats, Hall to KC. I think the Jets aren't done trying to tear their team down. 3-6, 10-man league. Any trades I should look for? Knicks, Dart, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Hendo, Harvey, AJB, Metcalf, Worthy, Lost Scattaboo. I'd trade one of the quarterbacks if this is a 1 QB league, which I think it is. So you're trading one of the quarterbacks and maybe AJB for one player like Nico Egbuka. Let's see here, Nico Egbuka. You could trade Metcalf and one of the QBs. You could trade AJB. Yeah, no, that's what I work on. And yeah, that's what I work on. You could trade Loveland too. Loveland could maybe get you into something else. Adding Loveland. Trade Bijan for Gibbs and Garrett Wilson. Yes. Definitely smash that trade, Allen. That is a good trade. I mean, you could argue Bijan and Gibbs are equal. So you're ripping them off. Nice job. I said it's premature. I don't know why you keep typing in all caps there, Daniel Caps. I guess that's your name, but I said it's premature to decide who won the trade, Big Smitty. That's what I said too. I said nobody should be deciding. I was defending your comment initially. I don't think you're paying attention, Daniel Caps. I don't think you're paying attention at all. I took your comment on screen and I read it. I go, yeah, no one should be deciding who won, but no one should be necessarily saying they can't say it. You could say either one. You could say I think this team won, I think this team won, and yeah, one of you is going to be wrong, but it's okay to say, it's okay to try and determine the trade. It's called a prediction. So I'm defending both of you. I'm not. No one's saying that. I'm just saying you can't sit here and say one person's wrong, or one person can't predict something. You can't either one. It's called a prediction. I think the Seahawks got blasted on. You could say that. That's called a prediction. What, Daniel? Why would I be here if we weren't able to predict anything? Why would any of us be here if this is you can't say who's going to be a good fantasy player yet? Okay, let's not do a week 1 show, a week 2 show, week 3 show, any off-season shows. Like, we got to make predictions, Daniel, and so does everybody else on a trade. But I'm merely defending both of you, saying either one of you could be right, and both of you should be able to say what you want. All right. 2 calls. That's it.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Two calls and then we're out of here. Because I have a feeling we'll be back again. I have a feeling as soon as I end the stream, it'll be mother freaking. As soon as I end the stream, it'll be mother freaking Garrett Wilson live stream time. All right, mute the background noise, my guy. And both of you guys mute yourself real quickly. Actually, let me go to the 917 caller first. The other guy, please mute. 917, you're live.
Hey, what's up, Smitty?
What's up?
So where are we at with Shaheed? Does that make any difference? Like, I know I got on the show late, but Shaheed, what does that do with Seattle?
It's great for Darnold. It's probably okay for him. I don't know that it's not necessarily a downgrade by any means, but I think we're still kind of in a holding pattern as to what. I mean, you got to think that it's a pro and a con, right? He goes from a place where there's not much standing in his way. You could say Olave, you could say whatever you want, but like he has the ability to go control and become the number 1 wide receiver if he wants to. In Seattle, he has 0 chance of being the number 1 wide receiver. 0. Mm-hmm. But at least he has a better quarterback, so does that end up being better? Number 2 or 3, and he might end up being the number 2. Like Torrey Horton's looking good, but if he does become the number 2, and everyone's gonna say, "Oh, he's the number 2, he's a field stretcher," yeah, but Torrey Horton's a guy they drafted to become that guy, so let's not discard him. But are you better as a number 2 with Darnold in Seattle, or a number 2 but could sometimes play like a 1, especially if a concussion hits or whatever in New Orleans with a bad quarterback situation? Probably rather be in Seattle. Like, look at T. Higgins as an example of a number 2 that's right. much better than a number 1 somewhere. But I don't know. I think it's an upgrade, but I don't think it like vaults Shaheed into Jupiter status or anything.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of more like JSN and Shaheed could do something of like a Cowboys kind of thing. Or,
yeah, I think Shaheed helps JSN more than the trade actually helps Shaheed owners, but I think that the trade also helps Darnold owners more than it helps Shaheed owners. But I do think it could be good.
All right. Thank you, Smitty.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Later. Next caller, you're live. Go ahead. You're the only caller on the line.
Hey, Smitty. It's Johnny, 777.
What's up, Johnny?
So I have both. I have Olave and JSN on the Marsman League, and I'm thinking that that's going to be a good thing for the Marsman League roster. Where but I'm wondering, do you think Olave is going to take a hit now because he'll get double teamed?
I mean, I don't know. Hard to say. I think we're probably looking at Saints unfolding, a Jets team unfolding, and I don't know that the ball moves anywhere. I think Olave could even get traded. I mean, the Saints could be doing the same thing the Jets are doing, cleaning house. I mean, who knows? But I think it can't be bad to have one of the deep stretch players taken out of play in terms of targets, but does his efficiency go down now because there's more 3 and outs and the team can't move the ball? You know, it's like it's kind of like when a player gets more carries because the elite wide receiver or quarterback goes down or something, but it's less efficient work. case in point, Kyron Williams got more work when Puka Nacua got injured last year, but his efficiency went down because there was stacked boxes. So what's better? Probably less work, more efficient. Yeah. So I just don't know if Olave goes up because he's going to get more targets. It might be bad targets. I don't know.
Well, Shaheed was there last week, and it was Olave's worst week ever this season.
Yeah.
With Show.
I hear you. I'm just saying that there's a give and a take to this. Like Olave.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you.
Olave could literally get fed hospital balls, and it's double teams, and I don't know. The same. I guess the best way to describe this is the same stance of does Shaheed help JSN? And if you're answering yes to that, then you can't say that Shaheed leaving helps Olave. Because you're arguing that Shaheed, this field stretcher, is helping JSN. Then how is it helping Olave to now be the only focal point and having a bad quarterback situation? So I don't know. It could go either way. But I think JSN goes up.
I think we've both seen it both ways, though, where sometimes. One helps and sometimes one doesn't, but, the same situation at a different spot.
Right, but do you have more supporting cast for those people that can do better with soul? Like when Monty goes down, Gibbs does better, but he's got all these weapons around him. So the Saints have nothing. So I think losing talent is never good, but we'll see. It opens the door, but the odds of Olave getting even more work staying healthy is a tall order. All right, I got to roll. Appreciate you, man.
All right, bye.
All right, later. Yeah, it's hard to know. Johnny's the man. It's hard to know. It's hard to know, Johnny. It really is. It could go either way. I'm not saying you're wrong if you do believe Shaheed or Olave gets more value. $20 hauler from Jordan. All right. Would you take either of these? I get Olave, Nico, Kamara for Barkley and JMO. Olave, Nico, Kamara. No. Rather have Barkley and JMO, believe it or not. Or I get Wilson, Nico, Kamara for Barkley and Ladd. That one's okay. That one's not bad. I think you could argue those are even. The only problem is the running back situation. So looking at your RB, CMC, Barkley, I'd probably rather just keep what you have. I like Nico. I like Garrett Wilson, but they're in kind of volatile situations. I think Barkley's going to do really well down the stretch. But trust your gut on this one. I'm going to lean Barkley, Jordan. I think Barkley's the better one. Thank you, Johnny, for the call. Johnny brings up good points. And again, I wish I had an answer for what happens to Shaheed exactly and what happens to Olave exactly. But what I do know is Shaheed will help out JSN. And if that's the case, does losing Shaheed actually help Olave? When we're telling you, when you're sitting here going, yeah, well, it helps JSN to stretch the field. Why doesn't it help Olave to stretch the field? Olave is kind of a field stretcher himself, but I just don't know. I just don't know that I love anybody on New Orleans right now. Just like, you could say, Sauce Gardner leaving New York helps Garrett Wilson because now the game script's going to be so bad for everybody but Garrett Wilson that Garrett Wilson is going to get more targets. But will he get worn out? Will he get more hospital balls? Will he actually see more efficiency or less efficiency? And therefore, the more targets actually equals less fantasy points and gets more worn down. I'd rather have Gibbs getting less carries than more carries and less efficiency. I'd rather have JSN getting a little less work with more one-on-one, routes that end up giving him one or two more touchdowns. It'll all be okay. And Shane makes a point I was just about to make is that, like, Shaheed's got to stay healthy too. Jonathan, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you all for the super chats. Man, another hour live stream. All right, I'm going to end this one here. Appreciate everybody that called in. Appreciate all my super chatters. Appreciate Johnny dialing into the phone line. Johnny, you're the man. Flea Nice, Jordan, Davis, appreciate your $20 haulers. Alex and Skyward, appreciate your $20 haulers. 20 gifted memberships by BBQ. I think it was, right? BBQ, 20 gifted memberships. Thank you, BBQ. I'll see you all later. Appreciate every single one of you. Let me see if there's any other trades going on right now. I'll tell you, man. Schefter says more is coming. Hold on a second. Yeah, we're probably going to be back on. I would say we're going to be back on a Garrett Wilson, a Breece Hall, or maybe Jalen Waddle, bro. Maybe Achane. Who knows? Big trade for the Jets, and they may not be done yet, says Glazer. Stay tuned. Appreciate you all. Live when news breaks, ladies and gentlemen. See you back in a little bit.